Welcome to a new episode of The Other Russian. And today I'm finally going to talk about the patriarchy. That book that I showed you twice. I'm gonna go through it, but yeah, I'm gonna also talk about politics today again. I'm no expert. I need to come up with a disclaimer, and yeah, I guess to need put it at the end of the video so that I don't get sued. But I'm no fucking expert. It's just one dude's random opinion basically over everything. So yeah, whatever you hear from me, it's never an advice or a call to action. But yeah, anyway, so just came back from the gym, yeah, where I go, forgot what it's called. I go there like twice a week or 3 times a week. That depends on my capacity to be there on Saturday morning. But when I can and when I'm not traveling, I'm going for some ellipse training, some cardio. It's important, especially with the fucking age. I mean, man, we're all mortal, right? So yeah, before jumping into that lovely discussion, I was thinking earlier today, and I'm exercising with kind of personal trainer. She doesn't charge much, luckily, but she's increasing prices as of 1st of September. So yeah, definitely painful point there. But anyway, so yeah, I've been talking to her, and she's experiencing a tough moment in her life, and she's using some antidepressants. And nowadays, especially in Russia, it is quite common to hear that people use antidepressants for many reasons. One of them being there's fucking war, and the country they live in invaded in on the territory of the other, and it's pretty much fucked up. But not only this, the entire pressure is building up, the foreign brands leaving or not, because Nestle, for instance, they recently said that they are increasing prices in September for baby food products that they have. I don't remember the name of the category, but yeah, anyway, for the feeding, I think it's like a formula instead of breastfeeding or something like that. But yeah, anyway, I mean, they're increasing prices, and yeah, there you go. But at the same time, of course, people need to live their life and do something about it, and somehow continue living this day till the next one comes, at least. So yeah, talking about antidepressants, never had. Uh, I never have used them in my life. I hope I won't need to. I would prefer like organic substances that have been used throughout the human history and then all of a sudden get prohibited. But yeah, we'll get to that point eventually. Don't worry about that. So yeah, I was just thinking about mushrooms, and you remember I mentioned mushrooms before. I forgot what they are called, so I'm going to Google. Okay. There's a translation that I use. Oh, yeah, by the way, let's switch to uh what the fuck? Yeah, anyway, what? Okay, I'm mistaken. So yeah, I got some new things that I want to show off today because I spent some time putting it all together. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, this is a logo here on top. This is the name of the episode here. I hope I didn't fuck it up. And this is where you can dump your crypto. And I've checked; those QR codes work, at least on my phone. But yeah, I mean, I'll put all the ingredients and the exact address in the description as always. Yeah, because I need those fucking money to leave my life. What multi-tran? Right, yeah, there it is. So, yeah, I think I've already Googled them. Mhm. Yeah, toadstool, fly agaric. I think this is shit. What the fuck is this? Yeah, I think Fly Agaric probably is the one I'm looking for. Yeah, that's the one. Fly Agaric. Мухомор красный. So I mentioned to you before that it helped my spouse, and I use them from time to time, and of course, it's just another mushroom. Of course, if you decide to eat it, you may die. I mean, entirely, like we in one go, like a whole, like this one, two, three, or even one. I don't know. Some are more dangerous than others. But yeah, I mean, maybe not die, but you get really. Although it says ядовит, but yeah, probably can fuck you up. Anyway, in small dosage though, it is quite good for I don't know what's it called, like mental capacity. Like when I take it for the duration of like up to 3 weeks, generally in courses, I grind them and take them in teaspoon in the morning and in the evening twice, ideally. uh, because it then helps to kind of even my emotional state and balance it and help me kind of maintain my presence in the moment and not get dragged by something that I'm doing. Uh, the fuck am I talking? Anyway, so it helps me. That's it, basically. Yeah. So I was discussing it with my trainer, the girl that the woman or whatever. I mean, in nowadays non-binary world, whatever, however the fuck you call a personality. Anyway, so the thing here is that I said to her, like, go try them. Like, here's an article, here's a video, here's an overview, just read the information, understand how it works, and then decide for yourself, but just consider it. So I've sent her some articles and she went through them, and then I said, like, okay, so you can buy them on like marketplaces that I know they were available there. There are still some marketplaces in Russia like Ozon, Yandex Market, and some Sber Market or whatever it's called nowadays. So anyway, the point here is that she went there and she found nothing. So apparently, you cannot buy them online no longer anymore because yeah, I mean, let's just give it a try and check out by myself. So I definitely remember. I definitely remember. Yeah. Okay. Nothing. So I remember googling it and finding it on that particular marketplace. They were available, and yeah. So she told me that it's no longer there, and as you've seen, it is. And I started to ask myself, like, why? I mean, why the fuck did they cancel a fucking mushroom? I mean, it's not illegal. It is not prohibited. Like, this is a fucking mushroom. I mean, seriously, it's been there for a while. Nobody gave a shit. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's not there. The problem, however, is that it helps. And it helps people get off medications and help them overcome that depression state or emotional instability or the pitfall or whatever you call it. So anyway, that negative feeling that people experience, the emptiness basically. So yeah, it helps, and it is prohibited nowadays. And well, not prohibited, but it's not there, so you cannot buy it. So if you cannot buy it, you need to go to the old fucking pharma, and then once you s- get some medicine from those big pharmaceutical companies, and again, it's depression. So you start taking them, and they have a shitload of negative side effects that basically kill you and numb you, and you can no longer experience emotions, but you're okay. So yeah, the thing is that I'm wondering, like, why somebody would go against people not suffering. So yeah, if they take those mushrooms and they get better, they are no longer like mentally injured and then can live their life. But then if it is no longer available, what are people gonna do? I mean, if you're denying access to something, you are trying to kind of tell people what to do and how to live their life, and then I sit here like, what the fuck? But yeah, however, still, I mean, those mushrooms probably can be purchased in other countries, but still for Russia it's very kind of common mushroom. So it is mushroom time, by the way, so it's the end of August typically. I remember when I was very, very young with my grandma. We've been at dacha, and dacha is like a kind of country house outside the city. So it took us like an hour by train to get there, and it was like a small village. I don't know, maybe a few hundred people, or even 100 or so living there. There is a sawmill, and there were like people living there and getting drunk, wasted, killing each other or killing themselves, basically, typical degrading village in Russia. So yeah, by the way, there's a great movie by Zvyagintsev called Leviathan, and it, in my view, again, just some random Russian guy, right? But it gives you a real perspective of what it is and how it feels like. By the way, I'm gonna Google right now. So yeah, let me quickly switch here, and I need to buy that thing to click buttons and switch between screens. Otherwise, I need to go to the main screen and click there. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Leviathan. So highly recommended. I mean, this is like pure fucking depression. So you look at it and you're like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's typical life in Russia. But yeah, what the fuck was I talking about? Yeah, let's go back to the main topic. So eventually I'll probably go where I wanted to. But yeah, prohibition. So yeah, talking about laws and the system, I think I was trying to get to a point where, that the laws, the structures, the kind of restrictions, they are created to kind of maintain control. And typically, it is done by man, of course. So, in the majority of countries, people live in typical patriarchal societies. So, going back to that book that I mentioned before, highly recommended. I mean, it's great, especially for men to read this. I wouldn't say there were like significantly life-changing paragraphs there. Well, no, there were. In terms of like the patriarchy, I mentioned to you before that I mean, been covering the topic due to the research that we've been doing for that social project of ours in India. And the patriarchy was one of the main issues. So, yeah, I mean, that book that I purchased on my way back from India was really promising from the very start. So, yeah, let's go back to the findings. So, yeah, just to give you a bit of a concept here. So the author is strongly relying on the archaeological excavations and findings and the hard evidence and the data gathered throughout the generations that was mentioned either in books like history papers, or before even books were widely used in some other methods. So generate not generating, but yeah, acquiring and gathering all the data helped her to build this kind of a storytelling line. So the storytelling line is insane because basically, roughly, yeah, 6,000 years ago, or give or take 6 to 8 thousand years ago, there has been a significant change in the way humans is like, again, species changed in terms of understanding the world, the structure of it, and that the patriarchal society basically started to form. And then eventually it did. overtake the majority of the population of the planet. So she argues that it happened because of some military, well, it's not militaristic. I think I'm missing a proper word here, but yeah, basically just some other humans from Eurasian steppes. Steppe is, well, it's something that is quite common for Kazakhstan or Mongolia. So they're in a sense like deserts, but not oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna Google what the fuck is steppe, so that you give a you get an understanding picture. I don't know why, but somehow my Google is now in Russian. So yeah, this is steppe. Just, you know, not deserts. So I was wrong here. It's more of like grass, but not hills, steppes. So yeah, 6 to 8 thousand years ago, Chekhov's didn't. I actually never read it. But yeah, anyway, they came to western parts of the continent, of the Eurasian continent, and actually that lady, that pissed me off a bit. I think, of course, the she wrote that piece probably after the war started. But yeah, I mean, it's fucking annoying. She says from Russian steppes, but come on, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you say Russian steppe, actually, you know, if you if you read the book, she starts with Russian steppe, and then somehow it transforms into Eurasian steppe. So I have a feeling that it was Eurasian at the beginning, but then she kind of wrote not consequentially probably, and then wrote Russian, because I mean Russian didn't exist back in the day. So it's like, what the fuck? You're just putting certain labels to people who live there, and you know, what the fuck. I mean, you're talking about human progress and things like this, and then all of a sudden you say Russian steppe, and you're like, yeah, woman, come on. I mean, what the fuck. But yeah, anyway, going back to the steps. So what she said is that in European parts of Eurasian continent, and actually not only there, there's been a very different society, matrilineal, if I pronounce it correctly. So basically, it was governed by women. It was run by women in some cases. In some cases, there weren't any patriarchy or matriarchy in the first place, and it was like as if there was no sex distinction or difference even between the sexes. So if you're talking about the nowadays, actually, right, and then LGBTQ plus, or however many letters there they, so this is it. So this has been in the history, and it's just going back to the roots, because there's no point of putting those gender frames or limitations in order to kind of classify people. But yeah, again, point is not around this. Point is around the other archaeological excavations that have been made, and one of them is Çatalhöyük. And Çatalhöyük is an excavation of what is considered to be the first city on the planet Earth. So there's been like settlements, and this is the first city, and it's fucking old, like extremely old. So, oh, Shell, okay, good guys, right? Trying to kind of restore their um I don't know, miscalculations or whatever problems. So yeah, I wanted to find a page about Çatalhöyük. So yeah, as you see, it exists approximately 7,500 years BC, which is like fucking long, like 9,500 years ago. So yeah, I mean, it's currently located in Turkey. I mean, it's located same place, just the territory that is nowadays can be called is called Turkey. So yeah, I've been to Konya actually. Me and my wife, we had a romantic trip. We had we got married, and we went on a 2 week trip in Turkey, and I wasn't that smart back in the day, so I haven't Googled the route that we've taken. We went to Cappadocia, we went to Kenya. No, 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 Kenya. Yeah, right, Kenya, correct. So what else? There's been some other Kash, and then Chimera was somewhere there, and a couple of other locations. Anyway, so it's been a long journey, and it's very nice. Roads are good, but yeah, it was different experience because there was no war back in the day. So yeah, we've passed by that city, Konya, and this is the place where it is located. So that Chatal Huyuk is next to Konya. There's the ruin of Konya, and as you can see, it looks fucking old. But yeah, the idea there is that during the archaeological findings, they have unearthed this beauty. It is a seated woman of Chatal Huyuk. I hope I pronounced it correctly. So yeah, it was excavated, unearthed in 1961, and it is approximately 6,000 well, actually 8,000 years old. So yeah, I mean, seriously. So there's been this statue of a seated woman, and it is not quite clear, like whether she's the goddess or something like that. I mean, there is no indication. There is even a version that she is just sitting and resting. Well, actually, there is a kind of other thing about humans conquering nature, and here you can see that she rests on top of some animals. I don't know whether those like dogs or something, or cats, or who the fuck knows what are those. And she's just resting after giving a birth. That's why that the belly is a bit saggy, so she just gave a birth, and yeah, she's just resting while, demonstrating that she's conquered the world. But I mean, again, and this is just a statue, right? I mean, it was on Earth 8,000 years ago. It was not about a man, right? So if you think about it, like going back to that thing, and so BC, by the way, right? So BC, what the fuck is BC? Is before Christmas, right? I mean, Bronze Age, like what BC stands for? Yeah, before Christ. So Christ, that dude that got crucified, and yeah, I've been told that it looked like him, but no, I don't. So anyway, 2000 years, well, 2023, but yeah, no, that's not the point. So there are countries, for instance, like Thailand, and in Thailand, so they have different system. Year. So currently, the fuck. I mean, yeah, only 2565, so 2565th year today, currently in Thailand. And I think they're counting from Buddha's birth. Yeah, right. So they got their own the Christ, basically, right? So the Western world got these guys, these guys from, or people, humans from Thailand. They have their own Christ, and they call him Buddha, but he wasn't crucified. He's just a random dude who got to Nirvana. But yeah, anyway, that's not the point here. So again, going back, and this also actually indicates. No, actually, I think that's still a bit of patriarchal. Maybe Buddha was a woman. We don't know, right? Or we do. Are there any like strong evidence that he was a man? Anyway, what the fuck? Just drop the topic. It's not the point again. I mean, I'm getting dragged in some different strange directions now and then. So yeah, let's go back to that statue of a mother. And there are some other findings around the world. So 16th century. Damn. So again, I mean, look at this. Those are women, right? Here, there, and you can find women around the world. Oh, I've never heard of her. Durga. Oh, Lakshmi and others. So, I mean, the idea here is that there is something to it, right? You know, the world was living in a more matriarchal manner, let's put it this way, and then some conquerors from whatever parts of the planet came and brought their militarism, brought their aggression, brought men to power, and those men basically wrote the codes according to which the societies is now governed. So yeah, I mean, it's just amazing, right? I mean, look at this and how it's been done and where we are right now. So again, going back to that book, there is a very broad explanation of that phenomena. There are also other indications that in other locations of the world, like for instance in South America, and in India as well, there are and there were and there still are in some cases small societies that live according to that matriarchal paradigm. And the thing about the matriarchal paradigm is that there's no coercion, there are no like uh overpowering or something like that. You know, I mean, it's not brutal, it is prosperous, it is harmonious, whatever. And yeah, I mean, it is very different. So you start to think, and then roll back and look at those statues there and look at the findings and look at the excavations and think about the people that are still running nowadays societies, and those are men. So there's a very kind of strong line of not defense but kind of arguing or case, or I don't know how it's called. Sorry, my English today is shitty. Maybe it's just because of the gym, because I'm a bit tired, because there's been shit lot work to do, but I don't know. So yeah, let me grab a minute because I haven't exercised with my voice and I feel that I'm starting to lose it, but I don't want to do that. So I haven't been. I don't know why. Maybe I'm hurting myself, but whatever. So yeah, going back to the patriarchal societies and the matriarchy, and I don't know. I'm thinking about it more and more nowadays, and again, I'm starting to question like why indeed the patriarchal society is the kind of progressive model of existence in a sense, because I mean it's not really. I mean, where's the fucking progress here, right? I mean, there are wars, not only like literal wars, there are like economic wars, there's this competition, and typically this competition and this kind of need to overcome others, this competitiveness in general is, I mean, I'm being sexist here, but it is a typical kind of part of male character. The reason is that in some cases there's a need to show to the world that your dick is bigger, than others, and basically that's how it works, So just two random men like, I got a bigger dick, no, I got a bigger dick, and then eventually kill the entire world because they wanna show off and demonstrate, how big their ego or whatever the fuck they are trying to demonstrate. So with women, it's different. Of course, there are exclusions. Sure, I'm not saying that all women are saint. There have been cases in the history, and actually I think I've told about this before, but I'm gonna repeat myself anyway. So there's in at some point in time in history, in some locations, there been people with power, men, and basically women cheated on them, right? So they said like, no, I'm gonna control your sexuality. You're gonna belong to me. You're like my property and things like this. So that person or many other persons, they just wrote those codes, and the society it still lives according to those codes, which is ridiculous. But well, we're still getting there as humans. I mean, we're evolving slowly, slowly. We do mistakes, yeah, eventually. But yeah, one other thing that is really good about humans is that we can change our mind, and this is absolutely brilliant. And once there is evidence, once there is like this near death experience, it makes us think. So that means that it's not all lost, in my view. But yeah, anyway, going back to that, excavations and everything that is happening, I, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna pause here and shut the fuck up about that book. Just read it. I mean, it's brilliant. It's genius. I highly recommend for you to read it and then start to question it and ask like, why? Why is the patriarchal society so strong? Why is it still the main kind of line of power? And I do strongly believe that if the model to be challenged, it should be challenged by not only women but by men as well. And in my view, majority of men probably say like, what the fuck? I mean, we want to hold power, and that old way of doing things, it is something that we're used to. And yeah, so there's this thing called Damastroy. I don't know how the fuck it's called, but it is the codes of yeah, literature of 16th century century. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, talking about it is that you know it is still there, and it's still working and still governed uh by those codes. But yeah, men don't want to change. Why would they? The problem is that there are people saying that we need to live according to those good old testaments and traditions. I don't know what happened with my accent, but yeah, in some cases I can talk in this very Russian accent, which is typical for people from my country. Uh, but I don't want to do that. I mean, maybe from time to time, just to entertain you, but not this time. Anyway, point is that again, if you think about those people who say that, yeah, it's been like this, we don't need change, and things like this, you then ask them like, okay, so how long is long? And they say, our grandfathers and grandmothers and whatever, grand, whatever. And then you ask people like, okay, but when did it start? Did it start? Yeah, whatever. Um, so they don't know, right? And then you just ask them until they get to a point like, what the fuck you want from me? And then you explain that it's been like this even before your fucking patriarchy. So if you son of a bitch, or actually, there was that a good one. I need to come up with something different. But yeah, anyway. Um, if you want to live according to the Old Testaments, those are fucking Old Testaments, man. I mean, come on, seriously. Like, how old is old, right? So yeah, I mean, it's been like this. But yeah, let's just quickly go back to that political aspect that I wanted to talk to you about. And I've been talking for like 30 fucking minutes with the non-stop. So yeah, talking about that politic thing. There's this guy called Prigozhin. Who would have expected a turn like this, right? But anyway, that person, so he tried to start a mutiny 2 months ago. And well, he was, I think he is, I don't know. Well, anyway, kind of supposedly he died yesterday, right? But when my wife told me about this today early in the morning when we had breakfast, so she asked me like, "Have you heard?" I'm like, well, no. Prigozhin, I like, yeah, did he? So by default, I don't believe anything that comes from Russia. and I'm fucking Russian, right? So that the person is known for being the head of a fabric of trolls. Very known, actually, widely known. Those trolls were involved in, well, they say, I don't know, in campaign of Trump, and they were partially the reason he won, or something like that. Or they, hold hundreds of accounts on social media, and then they use them to kind of control the narrative or create a narrative, or kind of блять, забыл слово. Отвлечь. Fuck. Anyway, yeah, let me do this stupid thing today. So yeah, they say I need to spend money and distract, right? Distraction. So he was a distraction, definitely. He ran a privately held military organization in Russia. And the funny thing is, well, it's not funny, but still, legally, technically, it is outlawed. It is prohibited to organize a privately held military company in Russia, but it still exists. So yeah, talking about double standards, right? And yeah, but this is of course something different, right? But yeah, so that person was heavily involved in some big corrupt schemes here and there, but he was also responsible for that an attempt of power overtaking, a mutiny that happened 2 months ago, and he didn't succeed. That situation was like completely strange, and looked like a fucking cartoon, or I don't know. It's just a sketch. I mean, it was so dumb. I could not believe that was actually happening. But yeah, I mean, the entire country is just fucking circus. There's a good Telegram channel, by the way. It's called Political Circus. Yeah, I mean, политический цирк. They, they know why the name of the channel is so good. But anyway, point here is that that person died supposedly yesterday, and if you go on Twitter, you can find some interesting publications there. So this is one of so there's a person who created a whole thread about Joe with jokes about Prigozhin's death yesterday. So those are all Russians, by the way. So I mean, come on. By the way, this is not this is the other Prigozhin. So there is one Prigozhin and there is another Prigozhin. So one Prigozhin is the person that yeah, he's still trending. Wagner Prigozhin, you see. But the other Prigozhin is a husband of a pop song artist, Valeria, who supports Putin and war, unfortunately. So she's that stupid human being. But and he's her producer and husband. And the message here says, "Fuck, just stop sending me condolences." I mean, he's not dead, right? Um, so there were some jokes that I don't really understand the context to. So that this was a thing after the mutiny attempt. So he went to Belarus to kind of escape the consequences or hide his ass or whatever. And then there were these pictures of him wearing disguise. So, yeah, and by the way, the thing about the plane said that I mean, they don't say that it was his body found there. They just say he was listed as a passenger. And there's another guy, the person who is listed as a passenger. I'm gonna show you that other guy, but this is insane. Oh, by the way, Airplane of Dream. So Vladimir Solovyov. This is fuck, I don't Krasovsky, Anton Krasovsky. Yeah, he is pretty. I don't think he's like open gay, but he's gay according to some sources. But I didn't give a shit about it. The problem is that he is a huge homophobe person, homophobic person. I mean, he was doing on television like crazy shit. I mean, Margarita Simonyan, the head of propaganda machine, and the head of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Maria Zakha, not the head or spokesperson, right? So she's like another insane person, and you can tell when she's on coke. I mean, look at their expressions from time to time, and you can say definitely that shipment from Argentina or Ecuador or what was it, Colombia, was meant to be delivered for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, apparently. So yeah, this is Valeria, the woman that I've mentioned to you before, Strelkov. Strelkov is some other person from the territory of DNR and LNR, Lugansk and Donetsk public Republic of People, or whatever the fuck it's translated. Anyway, so he was head and now he's jailed in prison. I don't even know. I don't follow that much, but still. So yeah, there's an inside joke about Shoigu sending army supplies to Prigozhin. Снаряды. Uh, damn, I'm ruining a joke. Yeah, missiles, right. I mean, how stupid was. So, yeah, what else? What else? Yeah, Sobyanin, mayor of Moscow, just in case, announced a public holiday in Moscow. It's a joke, but still. So, what else? There's been, oh, yeah, I like this one. So this is Elvira Nabiulina, head of central bank, basically, if I remember correctly. And she is like insanely talented person. I mean, my big respect to her. You can say that she's part of the regime, but still, she is doing her job and trying not to be involved. She's just trying to save the economy, but she's doing an amazing job, seriously. I mean, yeah, and when the mutiny happened, the ruble went down. So the message here says, um, so now you know, motherfucker, how to mess with my ruble currency exchange rate. And this is ruble currency exchange rate. So yeah, there's I gave you like a bit of a context here. So from August 2021, before war. On actually, this is euro. But yeah, fuck it, why not? So anyway, it was 80. And by the way, before Crimea got annexed or annexed, I don't know what's the proper for it, but anyway, the rate was 40 rubles for euro. So now it's, well, now it's more, but it was 86. Then the war started and it went up to 150 at some point in time, and then it went fucking down. And this is all due to basically her. I mean, she did it. She made it happen. I mean, there were like some strong interventions, and the course here was just insane. So, I mean, from 150 to 50, but then again, it gradually, slowly went up. Unfortunately, not too slowly because I sold my apartment in March, so pretty much same, but yeah, I mean, fuck. But yeah, so the mutiny happened, by the way, somewhere here, or in May. No, I mean May. Where the fuck did it happen? I don't know. Yeah, probably here. Yeah, 2 months ago, so June, right? And yeah, it grew, as you can see, from like this to this, and now it is 100. Well, it was 108. Now it's 102. Basically, 100 for a euro coin. But yeah, this is insane, of course. So yeah, some other inside jokes. I'm broken. This is a good one. I think this is a reference to a TV show called Highlander. Yeah, I think it was from my, yeah, the movie and the TV. By fuck, that was a movie, right? Right. So the movie. So that the fantasy story about those immortal people. Fuck, Highlander Toyota. Okay, why not? So yeah, that person there was the Gorets, Highlander, and they needed to kill other immortals, cut their head off in order to get their powers or something like that. So yeah, the tagline basically, there should be only one, or in the end there must be only one, or something like that. Yeah, there can be only one. So this this is the reference. There can be only one. Second Prigozhin. Uh, discotheque. Yeah, and So he was responsible for distraction and distraction and destruction as well. He was responsible for a lot of shit. But one other thing that I wanted to highlight is that there's been a recent publication by um, damn, if I, if I just, yeah, let's go here, put in yacht. So, International Anti-Corruption Fund on 23rd of August, actually, so coincidence, I think not. Yeah, there you go. Published an investigation about Putin owning a yacht, and not just a yacht that was built and harbored in Germany, and that yacht cost like shitload of money. So this is like, and they have a connection. So they say that yacht that they've identified has a mock-up of another yacht, and not this yacht, but that one that was originally kind of found and identified through their investigation. So I'm really just amazed by the level of work that they do, and what they did is showcase to the world basically that money don't really smell until so I mean the entire Europe basically wasn't still dependent on Russia, and still there's a money exchange happening and business happening. But us regular fucking Russians are just caught in between because of some populist motherfuckers. But yeah, anyway, let's go back to that. So they published it on 23rd of August, and again, that person is like a head of delusion and distraction and things like this. So I have a feeling, seriously, that it was just a fucking distraction for the world, so that once you go on Twitter, you don't find Putin or his yacht, you find fucking Prigozhin and Wagner and Russia. And if you think about it, so those are the exact tools that are being used by the troll fabric. And if you don't know anything about the troll fabric, you definitely should, because there's a theory on Wikipedia. So if you go within like 5 links, you can find Hitler. I've never tried, but yeah, there's a theory. Just thought it's funny. Hitler is not funny at all, unless it is Rabbit Jojo, or Jojo the rabbit, or how's it called, Jojo the rabbit. Damn, oh, Jojo Rabbit. Yeah, it's a comedy by Taika Waititi. Brilliant, brilliant comedy. I highly recommend it. What the fuck was I going to find here? Yeah, Fabric of Trolls, right? Maybe I'm doing a shitty search. Oh shit, trolls. Who are trolls? Trolls, right? Or troll fabric, fuck, in a troll's fabric. What the fuck is happening? Like, okay, I'm just gonna put a link in notes and pretend it never happened. So yeah, again, fuck, almost 50 minutes. I hope you don't suffer much while you listen to this. But anyway, if you don't suffer, then you should definitely do something about it. What exactly is shit? I lost it. Yeah, definitely go and fucking donate. And yeah, what is brand, right? But yeah, just go there and throw me some of your crypto uh блядь, мелочь change, right? So anyway, thanks for listening. Until next time, and yeah, see you. I'll be keeping improving. Bye.